Hello, welcome to a professional development on Google Slides. Today, I will be going through the presentation you have been provided with and doing some live demonstrations on the thing you have seen on the Google presentation. Getting started with Google Slides, it is a Google app. So you can go to googleslides.com. There's a link right here in the presentation that you have access to. It should look like this when you get there. I went ahead and I'm going to do live exactly what I showed you on the presentation. So here I am. This is the home page for Google Slides. You can either create a brand new slide, a clean blank document, or you can choose from a template gallery Google has already provided. Third, if you have already made presentations that you would like to copy or reuse, they will be down here based on your drive. I'm going to go ahead and create a blank document. From here, it's going to be pretty bland and plain. This is where you can use themes that Google has already provided for you. As you see, I'm scrolling through them now. You can click any one of these to add a little bit of color to your presentation. If you would like a different slide than a title slide, this little plus sign right here, you click the drop down, it shows you all the options. Once you click on one of these, you can also modify it further to what you would like. So I'm going to click this one. And just like in PowerPoint, you can delete anything or add anything to any slide. So I can delete this box, but if I want it back, I can just put a text box back. If you want to get really fancy in these slide templates and themes are not what you're looking for, there's this really cool website called slidesgo.com, and they have very, very fun templates. If that is something you would like to browse, they're always coming out with new stuff. Only thing is, please be sure to leave the credit slide in there so that you can give them credit. So the main two reasons you will be using Google Slides throughout your year as an educator. Number one will be to actually teach your class. We use Google Slides often as a tool to put our lessons together and teach with. It is very versatile, and a lot of teachers enjoy using it. The second thing is for assignments in Google Classroom, and I'm going to show you some tips to make that a little easier for you. So, teaching with Google Slides, if you need the same title slides, introduction slides, class expectations and objectives, you don't have to recreate those for every lesson you ever create. You can actually just make one. Then you can copy. So if you right-click, copy, so you just copy the entire slide, go to the new presentation or the new lesson you're starting, and then I right-clicked again, paste. You can either match this presentation style or keep original style. I like to keep original style so nothing gets messed up for me. So there you go. You don't have to keep recreating your class objectives and your introduction slides. You can just use what you already have. As you're creating lessons on your presentation, some things to remember when it comes to teaching. The slide should be easy on the eyes. In that sense, not filled with a lot of words or images, and the fonts and colors are easy to read for the students. I would really encourage including movable or interactive elements for your students to engage with. I can show you that in a few minutes coming up. Be in a clear, coherent order for a smooth lesson. So that's part of lesson preparation, is not just finding the materials to teach, but just making sure your presentation, it makes sense, it's in a coherent order. And please have your lessons and presentations made ahead of time before class, so it can be an effective instructional tool for you and your students. The next key tool for Google Slides that we're going to be using Google Slides for is fillable worksheets on Google Classroom. This will be very key for you collecting data, and doing it this way is easy on the students and yourself to collect the data. What you're going to need is the clip tool. It has a pair of scissors if you have an HP. It should be at the bottom on your toolbar. And it's a pair of scissors with a circle around it. You're going to open it, click on that and open it. And this is going to show up, this little box here. And you just click New. If you do not have an HP, it's very easy to Google how you can screenshot on your respective computer brands and models. So why would we need our clipping tool to make a fillable worksheet? Well, you're going to find all of those great PDF worksheets you probably already have on file, or any new ones you find. And we're going to actually be able to make that a fillable worksheet on Google Slides, so that when you assign this, they are only filling it in and not altering anything on the worksheet by making it the actual background of the slide. So your presentation tells you how to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and live action demonstrate this for you. So I found this really great graphic organizer for writing, the Hamburger. I'm sure some of you are familiar with. I'm going to go ahead and snip this, just the worksheet, following the exact instructions I left you. Okay. I'm going to save this, because that's what you'll have to do. Okay, so now you just turned a PDF into a picture. That is key. So I'm going to get a blank page. I'm going to go to slide. This is where you'll be going. Slide, change background. This is going to come up. You can also just change the background to a different color. You can play around with this some more when you have the moment. But for now, we're going to choose image. I'm going to upload from my computer. Remember where you saved it. Here is my graphic organizer. I am going to hit done. I'm going to get rid of all of these other text boxes. It looks a little goofy now. You can play around in the future or at the Google workshop with how you can adjust the PDF to look a little better. But if I present this, it actually leaves a lot more room for the students to write. I know it looks a little goofy, but we can always play around with that. So the students at this time cannot manipulate this PDF in any way. They can't drag it, they can't move it, they cannot delete anything. So what you would do is add a text box for them to fill this in. You always want to add one maybe for the name, just for them to get into practice. If you have younger kids and or you feel maybe that if a student looked at this, they wouldn't know they needed to fill it in, you can always click on your text box. Go right to here. It's called the border weight and then border color. I like to change the color, maybe to purple of the border, so that when they receive this, they know to click, okay, I need to click here, and then they can see, and then they can start typing. If you have more advanced students or you would like to challenge them more, don't add the text boxes at all, and you can teach them at the beginning of the year how to receive a slide like this and then add a text box. It's going to be solely up to you and understanding your students. I would say at the beginning, as they get used to it, make the text box so they know exactly where you would like them to fill things in. Another demonstration and or example of why making the slide background, the PDF and or worksheet you would like, is that here I have not yet made this a background. So the students, if they receive this, could literally do anything they wanted. And imagine now, I know this is a really cute and put together intro slide, but imagine it, you worked really hard on creating this worksheet and putting everything together, and then the student just moves everything around, deletes half of it, and then they say they don't know what to do. That would be chaos for us. So now I made this, what you just saw, a background. They can't move anything. They can't, I'm clicking, 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 can't do anything. So see how here it's clickable. Here it is not. So I can now show you how to make an actual slide of an unmovable background. So here you can move all of this. Something I like to use a lot is a Venn diagram. So let me create a new slide so you can see this. I'm going to delete these. So say you want to make a Venn diagram and you're not finding one that you love online. Don't reinvent the wheel. If you find a good one, just use the good one. But you want to be creative. So I just created a Venn diagram. Transparent, let's get rid of that. I would add more detail and I would go into more depth about what I would want from my students. This is just for visual purposes. I'm going to make these different. So Venn diagram, it's obvious you fill in the differences on each side and the similarities in the middle. I would explain that. Let me add some instructions just so you can see. Fill in, imagine very, very great instructions. So at this point, if the student received this, they could move this all around. They could delete the instructions. This is not what we want, right? So get your snipping tool out, new, and then screenshot the slide. Remember, save this somewhere, you know exactly where it is. Just to make your life easier. You don't have to search for it. Now, remember we're going to go to slide, change background, choose image, and search, search, search. This is my example. Done. Now you can remember, you can always remove all these text boxes. Okay. We want you to go away. Thank you. So now the students cannot move or compromise what you've built in the slide. Just like I did here. I have a lot of movable parts that I don't want to move, so I screenshotted this and I made it into this. just like we screenshotted this and made it into this. And if you're using similar strategies and assignments throughout classes, if you have several of the same class throughout the week, you don't have to do this every time. Once you've screenshotted the slide, you have kind of your own graphic organizer PDF situation that you created, and you just can keep using it over and over. Now, how do we get them to fill it in? This is the fun part. You can either have them, if it's an older or more able group of students, you can just leave text boxes in here. Once again, I like to change the color so they know where to type. Might look a little goofy, but that's okay. Or if you have students that would do better maybe with options or a word bank, this can be where it gets fun for them and it can be made interactive. So you can make a word bank. Words. So I just created this text box, and I like to put off to the side. You can keep it on the slide somewhere if you think that that is easier to understand. Words. More words. So say you create a word bank, and you don't need to make this the background. You want to leave these movable. And what they do is they drag the words that are clearly different into the circle, or they can drag the words that have common in the middle. This is just one assignment, one idea. I just want to show you how you can bring movable parts in. You can make the backgrounds a solid, unmovable force, and then you can have all sorts of things that the students can actually interact with. Once you get into Google Classroom, you will learn that you can watch while they're doing this, and if they do delete these words and or they do lose them or something wild happens, you probably have the word bank, or you know what they need. You can talk to them, chat them, or work on it together. But it just brings some more fun and interactiveness to the lesson. Okay, so you've created this wonderful assignment for your students that is going to help you collect data, help them do some independent practice work on what you've just taught them. This is a bit of a chaotic assignment. It has math, words, and vocabulary. So this isn't maybe exactly what it looked like. I just wanted to give some different examples. So this is the drag I was talking about. Drag all the Google apps that you are confident using into the circle, and then the idea is they would drag what they know in. Once again, you can leave the words on the slide if that makes you feel better. So how do we get this into an assignment so that they can fill it out after you've done all this work? So you're going to go ahead and go to your Google Classroom, to the class that you would like to assign this, Classwork tab, Create. Always assignment. When you're actually assigning a Google slide, I'm going to go to assignment. Here's where you would title it, and you want to keep the title you have on this presentation assignment the same for your sake, to make sure you know exactly what they're working on and so the students are not confused. Any instructions you give on this assignment, make sure you put it also in this instruction box. You never know, some students may miss it or it might get deleted. We just want them to have as many ways to access the instructions as possible. So once you're ready to add the assignment, click the paperclip add and then link. And what you're going to do is go to that Google Doc, right click, I right clicked on it, copy, paste, add link. See how it shows up right here? This is the most important part. We want to make sure students have a copy. So when they go to click on this assignment, it's going to automatically make their own copy that they can interact with. And you can see exactly what each student is doing. Once I add a title, it wasn't going to let me assign it because I did not add a title instruction, which is great. I'm going to assign, this is all things you'll learn when you get to the Google Classroom presentation. Thank you. So now it's been assigned. If you want, as these students start to interact with this assignment and copies start getting made, this is Class Drive folder right here is where it will all populate. It'll already create a folder in your Drive where all of the work will populate, which is pretty cool. So I just named that one title. So there's a folder called title, and what will happen is, because that was the assignment, every student who clicks on that and starts doing their assignment, all of it will file in here, which is pretty nice. That was a lot of tools and tips and tricks. There's so much more to do with Google Slides and so much more potential. So always play around with it, see what you like, what you don't like. If you're having some more questions, I would recommend going to the additional resources page. I try to link things that I think would be helpful. I have another video addressing the interactive worksheets. I have a link talking about teaching with Google Slides. And if you like my Bitmoji in the Classroom I built, I did link a video on how you can do all of that if you would like to have some fun with your presentation. And then the very first link is Google How To, and that's Google's site specifically made for answering questions. And then this link is questions about Google Slides. But if you still explore this all and have some more questions, if you have more questions, please reach out to the instructional coaching team, which their information should be listed on the last slide of the presentation. Thank you for your time, your patience, and your hard work. Looking forward to the more PDs with you. Have a great day.